Hey boys, welcome back to the channel where it's going to be another Rugby League 26 discussion video. I've been meaning to do this video for a while because there were plenty of good comments, great comments on my initial wish list video for the upcoming Rugby League Live 5, Rugby League 26. And I was going to make a video going through the comments, giving my opinions on people's ideas. So we'll do that. In future videos, I'm definitely we'll do a bit more of an in-depth wish list. We'll go through, I guess, career mode wish list / be a pro wish list. We'll go through gameplay, and then, I don't know, I guess more miscellaneous topics could be another video, but we'll go a bit more in depth with some ideas. But I was keen to actually go through the comments and talk about your guys' opinions. So we'll start off here. So we'll start off Kiwi Fan 6002 talking about the stamina system, which is a very good point of discussion. Actually, he comments about having the ability to turn off stamina or them balancing it correctly, and as he points out, it was just a pain in the ass. Like, the worst part about the stamina system was just like your halves, your fullbacks, even your wingers, like they got gassed, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So like, it's a bit of a tricky one. It is a tricky one because obviously you need a stamina system in the game, right? Obviously, otherwise, what is the point of reserves? You would just keep your best forwards out on the field. But it definitely needs a big balance. Like your fullbacks, your halves, this and that just need a big boost to their stamina. Like, not that they shouldn't get fatigued, but it shouldn't be the case where they, after half time, the stamina just sits on like a quarter stamina. And obviously the worst part about it is, like, if you're playing the career mode, young players in your team have even worse stamina. So you could have a young fullback in your side. After half time, he's gone. Like, you can't really get him involved in the game because the added effect of the stamina loss is that they get an injury very often. So I think in general, the loss of stamina, and then if you keep them out there, they get an injury, I think is a little bit, I wish they would do away with that as a whole. Personally, I think injuries are a tricky one because you don't, it's a fine balance. It is a fine balance between, like, having injuries, because I do like, it's not like you like having injuries, but it does add depth to the career mode. Because again, if there were no injuries, you never have to change your team, you never have to play around with combinations. So it is nice occasionally to have someone ruled out, and then you get to mix around with stuff. But I don't like it that it's based on the stamina system. I would imagine, and this is obviously moving on from this comment a little bit, but I would imagine like head knocks and stuff will be a bigger factor, and I think that would probably be better for, like, I think maybe if like there's a big bump off, there's like a really small chance of like a head knock. Because I'm curious as well. Actually, a good video idea that I did think of a while ago, I honestly forgot, but this has brought it back to me, is talking about the new rules and interpretations in Rugby League, because there's quite a bit of difference. There's quite a bit of changes to like Rugby League in real life compared to what it was back in 2017. So we'll go through that, like concussions, the six again, like there's quite a bit actually there to discuss with how it could affect the game. But I think like head knocks and stuff could be a bit more prevalent, just like a really small chance after like getting bumped off or something like that. Injuries, I think they just have to, it's just a balancing act. Like, I think you can either maybe turn them like way down, like just a slider to have them like really infrequent. And I think every player, like, your outside backs and stuff should probably be more like if they get an injury, it probably should be more like a muscle strain. Whereas like your forward should get like a shoulder issue or something, something along those lines. Obviously it's a bit tricky, but getting back to the point of stamina, that obviously coincided with the injuries, which I don't like. But stamina, I think it is a tricky one because you need your forwards to get gassed. But I think a big factor is half time, right? I think one of the bigger issues with the previous games is that you go to the sheds at half time and your players, they gain a little bit of stamina back, but it's not enough. I think the way they should do it is your forwards should obviously not gain as much stamina back, but your outside backs and your halves just gain a much bigger percentage because you're not going to be replacing your outside back / halves, right? You're not replacing them. Your forwards, you are interchanging. There's obviously the added thing of like some dummy halves play 80 minutes. Obviously most back rowers play 80 minutes in the game nowadays. But yeah, just balancing that. I think the stamina system could do with a big overhaul. I would like to get away with the injuries after getting depleted. And it would be you also need he also mentions the solo career mode. Oh my God. One of the worst experiences is starting a Beer Pro career mode and going through the lower grades as like a forward. Like it's unplayable. It's honestly unplayable. You make like 2 tackles because your player is so lowly rated. You make like 2 tackles, you make a run, you're gone. You get subbed off, you don't play the rest of the game, your stamina's gone. So I think just a bump in stamina overall. That's the thing. Like a young player coming into the side, there's obviously match fitness, but stamina, they should still be fit. Like they're not coming in like a 20-year-old kid coming into the NRL isn't gonna be like, he's not unfit. He should be fit. So the age and like the progression system, the fitness should just be way higher across the board. But there obviously has to be some like element of it to get interchange. So that needs a big overhaul. And a very good comment there from Kiwi fan. Rugby League Live 4 mods comments here. They need to add potential to players, which I know, like I haven't played like FIFA and stuff like that for years and years. But I obviously know there's like that type of system in those games where like players have potential and they can obviously exceed and stuff like that. And as he points out in career mode, like the way it progresses, it could be a bit unrealistic. But if you have sort of that added depth of like some players like a bit more known, or you could customize certain players to have that so they can progress faster than others. I mean, just on top of like career mode progression, we'll get more in depth in like the topic of career mode in a later video. But yeah, more things to progress your lower grade, like just more depth. There's actually quite a bit to talk about with the career mode. I'll save that for another one. But yeah, like an element of like potential, like young players have like maybe a star or something, like a potential factor to them. Doesn't necessarily pay off, but they're guys you could like look to recruit, and they have a high chance to make it or like progress faster. Would be cool. We're not going to go through every single comment. There's quite a lot. What else have we got here? So Tongan Stallion, what a name. He talks about ball mechanics, need to get a reboot. We'll talk more about that in like the gameplay aspect as well. But I think overall, I don't think it's that bad. Honestly, I think like a kick down field, the bounce of the footy is like, it feels pretty realistic. Like there's obviously times like you can't, like grubbers and bombs, like that's a good element of like ball mechanics, like being able to put a bit more extra on a grubber, being able to curve it maybe. A bomb, not just doing like a punt bomb, but like an actual like torp, or trying to go for a bit of a floater. Banana kicks, like that's actually the exciting part, is that obviously Big Ant have been making AFL the AFL video games, which is heavily kicking. So hopefully they implement a bit of that to rugby league, like the ability to do like a hook kick or a banana kick, and a torp. Like surely Big Ant implement some AFL kicking gameplay to rugby league, right? Like I would be very disappointed if they don't add a bit more depth to the kicking. I honestly, it sort of just hit me there that obviously, yeah, they've been making AFL games, which is solely like kicking. So hopefully they do. I'd actually be disappointed if they don't improve the kicking. But that's one we can get more in depth on, because that is actually an interesting point. Hopefully they do. What else we got? There's obviously comments about graphics. I mean, we've talked about it. I think the player likenesses will be very good. The biggest aspect that needs improving is the player models. I've mentioned it, but yeah, you want your big front rowers to stand out. You know, obviously the camera, if you're playing from a far camera angle, it's not going to look at, you don't want them to look like fucking giants against ants, but you want it a bit more realistic. You want that element of like a big player up against a small player. Wingers as well. I think probably the forward pack, it is what it is. I actually think one of the bigger issues with Rugby League Live 4 is the wingers and outside backs, because I feel like most of the outside backs all are like 6 foot. They all look the same height. There's obviously a few that are shorter, but like for the most part, it's very samey. I would say. So I think a bigger emphasis on that, and then the added bonus of like having your taller wingers having a better chance of like catching a bomb over somebody else. I feel like the bomb catching needs an overhaul. Again, we can talk more about that in like in gameplay discussions, but yeah, I think overall the graphics, like, I don't know, I think the stadiums all look pretty good. They're obviously going to improve like the crowds and this and that, but I don't know, I still think Rugby League Live 4 looks pretty good, if I'm being honest. I remember the one thing though, Rugby League Live 3 had such great grass detail. I don't know what happened, but I do think Rugby League Live 3, the crowd detail and stuff wasn't as good, but I felt like a lot of the lighting and like the grass, I don't know why the grass looks so good in Live 3, but yeah, little things like that obviously will get improved. Player scans will be great, but then yeah, player models, obviously the big kicker there. But people getting like so caught up in like the graphics, I'm like, it's gonna look fine. What else have we got? So another thing, I talked about this a little bit, but I honestly don't know how to pronounce the name. But, he talks about adding traits, similar to the thing we were talking about before with the potential, but adding traits like FIFA. And I think I talked about this with like a perk system, but yeah, you need to have like traits with certain players, like kicking traits, speed, and again, I want a more emphasis on that though. Like I talked about it, I think in this video or the initial wishlist video, but the speed perk, I want my player to be quick. Like I want it to feel fast. I actually think one thing they could do is just you could slow everyone down slightly. You don't want it to be like, again, it's a fine balance. You don't want the game to really run slowly, but I would rather maybe it be a little slower so your fast players actually feel quick. Because again, like, you get through the gap with like a center or a back rower, it all feels like, it can feel very samey. They all get caught. Sometimes you don't, but like a lot of times they do. Okay, I'm back. I had to do something. Obviously, in the video, it'll be a second. But where was I up to? Yeah, we're talking about traits. I mean, yeah, just in general, I would like there to be traits that actually have a decent impact. Even like I still think it'd be fun. I know it's more arcadey and maybe they don't want to go this route, but having like a button to activate the trait / perk. Your speed, there's whatever button you use it to have a quick like acceleration. A strength perk in like a tackle to put on a big shot. Kicking to get extra distance, like whatever it is. Like I don't know. I think that might be cool. Maybe it'd be annoying. I don't know. But I think the potential is there. A good comment here by my 135. Need to bring back types of tackles like the older ones, like 0 or O circle. I don't know why I called it 0. Circle should be top tackle. You can do a gang tackle, slow the play ball down, but you risk getting stepped off fended. And X would be a low tackle. I felt like in Rugby League Live 3, there was definitely like a scissors, paper, rock type situation, right? Like you went for circle tackle, like a ball and all tackle, but the offensive player went for like a bump, then you're more likely to get bumped off. But if they went for like a sidestep, you would tackle them. And vice versa. If you went for like a low tackle, if they went for a bump, you could still like make the tackle. If they went for a step, you'd get stepped more frequently. I don't think it was necessarily like that in depth, but it definitely felt like there was more of like a reason to do like a low tackle / a ball and all tackle. But in Rugby League Live 4, they did away with it completely. I feel like to this day, I don't even think there is a way to do or like dictate what type of tackle you do. You press square or circle. Obviously, if you double tap triangle, you still do like that diving animation, but the tackles are just the tackles. Like they either do like a low tackle, the animations are just like scripted. So it's a great comment. Like I wish they would bring back more of a scissors, paper, rock type situation where you actually have to decide like if you're going like low or you're going like ball and all. Like obviously on the try line you would go ball and all rather than low. If you went low, they would just fucking fall their way over the try line. Obviously, I don't think there's many comments about tries and stuff, but that'll be another big topic. Like on the goal line, there's a bit to discuss there. But yeah, great comment about the types of tackles. Another name I can't pronounce. They gotta fix offloading. Sometimes spamming the R1, L1 button is enough to register. Yeah, the offloading needs an overhaul. Again, I felt like Rugby League Live 3 had the offloading pretty spot on. Like, there were times where the ball, like the offloading, again, like there are a lot of things in Rugby League Live 3 that I prefer over Live 4. The offloading being a huge one, because the offloading in that, you could offload, like there would be like a low tackle, you offload. The offload would sometimes hit the mark, sometimes it would hit the ground, but you could still get the ball. Like the offload just happened and it was just a matter of if your player picked it up or not. In Live 4, if you offload it, the ball, like, it always goes to a player, but it's very floaty. It's not quick. It's not precise. There's no, like, it doesn't sometimes hit the, like, the way Live 3 did it, it would sometimes, like I said, it hit the ground. In Live 4, it doesn't do that. The offloading, it needs a complete overhaul. I know they don't want to make it too overpowered, like offloading at will, and that's why I thought Rugby League Live 3 had it like really well down pat. Like the offloading was really good in that game, so they need to definitely overhaul that. The offloading is pretty shocking. It's awful. It's genuinely it's one of the worst parts about Rugby League Live 4, and offloading is a big part of Rugby League. So it'd be interesting if they could do like, because obviously if there's like a ball and all tackle, there's like two plays in the tackle. If you could, like, I don't know, you mash like the analog stick or a button to like try to free your arm, right? Doing that, you could get an offload away, which could hit the ground, it could hit a player, or you could just drop it. Like there's an increased chance of like dropping the footy, I think would be a good addition. Obviously, again, like that's probably a bit of a pipe dream whether or not they could actually implement something like that, but if the animations weren't so strict, again, I have no idea about like gaming, like making games, but there's got to be a way to have like an animation not just run its course. Like I don't know, but I would like the offloading to be improved for sure. What else have we got? We'll go through a couple more. What else? What's another couple of good ones? Another comment about the perks, which we talked about. Another comment about the players need to have a better feel to them. Front rowers / wingers. We've talked about it, but yeah, definitely a big step up that would be. Cameron Frith, I know he's been around for a long time. Talking about the bomb catch. So yeah, we talked a little bit about the kicks in general, but yeah, they need to fix the bomb catch. He also talks about the typical hit up over the try line and relying on RNG to be completely reworked. Again, like yeah, we'll there's a lot to talk about with the try line stuff. What does he say here? So maybe once you get into a tackle near the line, you have to spam A against the defense. Same if you're defending the line. Players should have specific attributes to attack and defend the line. If it's 2-on-1, it's near impossible to score unless it's prop versus 2 backs, etc. Yeah, it's a complex one. It's a complex type situation because if you're that close to try line, like it's hard to attack and then also defend. Like there's a lot to talk about, so we'll save a bit of that for another video. But yeah, the bomb catches, like I don't mind sort of the little meter that goes up for the bomb catch, but I feel like it does. There's so many times where like I completely mistime it and I still get it, or I'll hit it perfectly and I don't even nearly get the ball. I don't know. Again, this ties into like better physics. It would be nice if there was just a bit more like freeness about it. Like both players go up for the ball. It doesn't mean that one or the other is going to catch it. One of them could, but there'd be a high chance of like the ball like just spewing out the back, or someone knocks it on, someone knocks it back. Like just the ball shouldn't automatically just one or the other person catch it. There should be better free flowingness to it. Again, be tricky, but it would make it a lot better. And also, if someone catches a bomb, they can't just plant the ball down like literally in half a millisecond. But you know, there's a bit there. Radman, who's been around forever, talks about the speed. Backs need to be faster. Also, to make the balance of play better, the defense needs to be more geared towards the user AI needing to compress slide. Yeah, I mean, they have that. I do like the way you can slide and compress, but it hasn't really made much of a difference. So I would like that to be improved upon. Like actually, yeah, like you being outnumbered, like the defensive lines are way too quick to actually get back into position. So you should, like, the way it works in real footy, like, yeah, a winger could make a tackle or they're not back. So, you know, players have to push across a bit or vice versa. Like, it's not... The way the game works is, like, players are way too quick to get in position. What else do you say? If not used... and left evenly spread to forwards or faster back should break the line more consistently. Yeah, just I guess also with the free flowing, just like players like sort of suctioning onto a tackler. Like you're like through a gap, but then the defense will just like magnetize towards you. That would be nice to get rid of. Like just the ability to actually get through the line without the animations sort of like sucking them in. But again, whether or not... What else have we got? We'll almost wrap this up. I don't want to be talking forever. So another good comment here from Fox Marshall that I'll save for the new rules interpretations. He talks about the scrum rule where you select if you go middle, left, or right. He talks about Would like to see an instant 10-minute sin bin for head highs. Yeah, he actually comments a lot about the rulings and interpretations. So yeah, there's quite a bit to go over there. So we're not going to talk about all that, but yeah, I think that'll pretty much wrap it up. There's definitely quite a few other good comments here. Reese SC, he has like a couple of good paragraphs talking about some stuff. But that'll wrap it up. That's just a little bit of what you guys think. Some very good points, some good topics. Like I said, we'll go through. There's quite a bit more in-depth stuff we can talk about, and this is what I love about a new game, bro. Just whether like most of this stuff isn't going to be implemented, that's fine. But just getting to talk about it is fun. I love it. But yeah, in future videos, we'll definitely talk about new rules and interpretations in real footy. How will that impact the new game? Because there is quite a bit. There is quite a bit to go over there. We'll go more in depth about like career mode / be a pro wish list and what I want to see more from that. And we'll probably do another sort of like gameplay in-depth discussion. Like there's so much like gameplay stuff we can talk about. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment. Let me comment in this one as well, like other ideas and stuff like that. I always love to read what you guys are saying. If there's heaps of other good stuff, we can do another like a part 2 of your guys' opinions. But other than that, make sure to like and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.